Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to take a look at the stamina Warden for Morrowind. Stam setups are actually pretty strong, still quite difficult to play because survival is a slight issue, but they push more DPS than Magicka setups. In the first part of the video I'm just going to explain all the gear, champion points, etc. And then in the second part I will show you the rotation, and I also want to quickly talk about sustain. I do have a written guide on my website. I will put the link into the description. So this here is one possible setup. On my website you will find many more, like in terms of gear, etc. So we are using the Thief Mundus Stone just to show my stats. So we have pretty nice stats: Hunting, Twice Fang and Valley Dref with the Thief Mundus. I am a vampire because, like always, this here is nice, and this here, just make sure if there's fire damage in a trial or in a dungeon, it's probably better to decrease your vamp stage to level 1, because then you don't get extra fire damage. In terms of race, I choose a Red Guard. Imperial works, Khajiit works, Orc works. I just prefer a Red Guard because you get better sustain and more max stamina, which is very valuable, because it also increases your damage. Buff food wise, we're using this here, health and stamina. However, you also could use this. Talk a little bit later about that. And potions, we're using the normal weapon power pots to give us brutality, savagery, and they restore stamina. Now in terms of gear, so this is one possible setup. There is a lot of really good options for stamina setups this patch. So I have 2 Fanged Snake here and 5 Huntings with the weapons, and then 2 Valley Dref. Try to get everything in Divines, and make sure you... I prefer to run 7 medium because we get more weapon critical because of the medium armor passive. This year, the more we wear, the higher the crit will get, so it's really nice. However, if you want more max resources, because you want more health and more stamina, then run 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light, so you don't have to put 6 points into health here. I do recommend having 17k health at least if you want to go into a trial. You could run around with 60.2k, but it's very risky. Valley Dref is still one of the strongest setups, like in terms of monster sets. I tested a lot and it seems this is still the best choice to go to. This set is really strong because it gives us 5k extra penetration. Like, this is a must have if you want max DPS. Now Hunting's Rage, you can craft this so the weapons are easy obtainable. A weapon damage enchant with infused, the main hand and the offhand axe with poison damage enchantment, and sharpened. You could run 2 sharpened, but for me infused here is better because it also amps up the maelstrom bow when you're on the front bar. Then we have the maelstrom bow here, basically a must have, doubles your damage and endless hail, really strong. Other sets to consider, so depending on what ulti you want to use, when you want to use the bear ulti or Dawnbreaker, they're very cheap, so War Machine would be a really good alternative. This set here, you see, like when you activate the ultimate ability, you get 15% more damage for 10 seconds, so that's really nice, and you also boost your group members with this. The thing with Hunting's Rage is every time we swap to the back bar, we don't have the 4 and 5 piece bonus active. So the weapon crit and 300 weapon damage are not active 100% of the time. That's why War Machine is so nice. It also will not be active all the time, the 4 and 5 piece bonus, but you don't need it to be, because the 5 bonus, you just have to make sure to use the ulti on the front bar and you will be good to go, it will proc. Won't lose anything if you swap to the back bar or not. In terms of damage, almost no difference. It's just War Machine also buffs group members. And the next set you could use would be Vicious Serpent. Basically this here, this is really nice in terms of sustain. As you see, 8% cost reduction, and every time somebody dies, a monster dies, you gain 2.2k stamina. So this is also really cool, and it has an extra bonus on 5 piece. For most though, I think Hunting's Rage is the easiest obtainable, so it's a really good choice to use. Champion points 54, 56 tenacity. I do heavy attacks on the front bar and light attacks on the back bar because heavy attacks are really fast. I will show you later setup where you can go full light attack, also works. So we have 56, 26, because I run one infused weapons, I put a few points into piercing to make up for the penetration loss. 56, 56 and the mastered arms 16. This is a nice setup, I'm still testing around a little bit, but this seems solid. Then 61, 3, 48, 49, 49. There's a lot of jump points around. On my website there's also a guide in case you don't know what that is. Quite important. In terms of skills, you see I don't have ultimate slotted, I will get to that in a second. Let's start with the bow bar. It's always the same for every stamina setup. Endless Hail, Rearming, Trap, Poison Injection and Cult Drops. It's always the same. I also use the Bull Netch because it gives me stamina for free. It's really nice, and you can weapon cancel this, pretty cool. So this is the full animation, and when I press it and weapon swap, it still pops up, but I don't lose any time casting it. Front bar, Deadly Cloak, 25% damage mitigation. That's why dual wield is so strong. Like, you take so little damage in trials, it's insane. And it deals nice damage. Subterranean Assault, probably the strongest ability on a Warden, and it will take you quite a bit of practice to actually get used to this, because you want to activate it the moment it runs out. What this is, you press it, it takes 3 seconds till it deals damage. It disappeared under the... Hits really hard. On trash fights also really nice, applies Major Breach and Major Fracture. It's poison damage. Rapid Strikes. Now here is... You could use Rapid Strikes, you also can use like the Hidden Blade or like Shrouded Daggers for example, for a little bit AoE damage, or Flying Blade or Silver Shards also works. I just use this because I want as much single target DPS as possible, but the other two are also a really nice option. Block Raise, you could use the other morph, Rending Slashes. This is just nice because it gives a small amount of healing. You see, you also heal for 1k health every 2 seconds. So it's just some more extra healing. Green Lotus, now this is here because the Warden itself doesn't really have a lot of good passives for stamina. Like, yeah, here there is a few, like you get a little bit more ultimate and you get more stamina recovery and your pets do more damage, but apart from that, in terms of damage for all your other abilities, there's basically nothing. The only thing that really matters is this here, Nature's Gift. When healing an ally with a green balance ability, gain 250 stamina. It restores the lowest resource pool. So if our stamina is lower than our magicka, we will gain stamina. Because we have the Green Lotus up, it will almost proc every second. So you see, it embraces the Lotus Blessing, causing light attacks and heavy attacks to restore health. So that's really nice. And it's a 20 seconds duration. So that's why I prefer it like over this, because it's only 10 seconds. This is 20 seconds, so it's really cool. As you might have noticed, you see, caster gains Major Savagery, and the Bull Netch gives us Major Brutality. So technically, we don't really need to use the weapon power pots because we already have Brutality and Major Savagery. I just use those because they're easy to get in a guild store. But technically you also could use normal ones. Just be aware, those here last 29 seconds, those here last 48 seconds. In terms of ultimate, you can do a few things. Basically, Flawless Dawnbreaker front, and then the bow ulti on the back bar, like most people do. Like Dawnbreaker is really strong and bow ulti is insanely strong in terms of single target DPS. But this here is overall the best ulti, I guess. However, if you want, you also could use the bear. Really high single target DPS. It's like it deals an insane amount of damage, especially when you use War Machine. The War Machine set, the one I showed you before, every time you use the ultimate, you gain 15% damage. And you can use this, it only costs 75 ulti points to activate, so you can keep it up a lot. It's really nice. If you want to increase ultimate gain, you also have another option, basically this here, Shimmering Shield. What does this do? It's on each successful absorb, caster gains major heroism, increasing ultimate gain by 3 every 1.5 seconds. Almost doubles your ultimate regeneration, however, only works if you absorb a projectile. What's a projectile? Like an arrow, a spell, or just something like that. You need to test out a little bit, but that's a really nice way to increase your ultimate generation. Where do you put it? It's hard to say because we need most skills, right? I will probably just remove the bull netch, place this here, but if you need it for sustain, then keep running this over this. Because 75 ulti points is not a lot anyway. You get it really fast. That's it about the setup. Now let's go to the target dummy. Stem setups mostly the same in terms of rotation, especially the back bar. So when we're on the front and we have to reapply our dots on the back bar, we drop our trap, light attack, endless hail, light attack, poisoning section, light attack, cult drops, weapon swap. Or pull netch, weapon swap. You need to activate this every 25 to 30 seconds, more or less, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Get the free stamina. When we get back to the front bar, the first thing we do is activate Subterranean Assault, because it's our hardest hitting ability. Then we do a heavy attack, blood craze, heavy attack, rapid strikes. Heavy attack, Subterranean Assault, heavy attack, deadly cloak, weapon swap. I do activate it every rotation, you don't necessarily need it to, but it's just easier. So when we do this fast-ish. Heavy attack, blood craze, heavy attack, assault, heavy attack, weapon swap. In the end, you kinda need to get the feeling with, if you're faster with animation cancelling, you probably could get a third one in. If you're slower, 2 is okay. Just practice. I usually swap to the back bar when Endless Hail has 2 seconds left. I use Surrender to track it on the PC. Console, you can track Poison Injection. It's 10 seconds, this is 10 seconds. So it's totally up to you, just need to get used to the rotation. Best is if you get 0 downtime on Endless Hail, because it's your strongest ability. If you see that you get gaps, like that it runs out before you reapply it, then you need to speed up your rotation or just go earlier to the back bar. Reapply also this when it's needed. Most boss fights, like, you want to keep it up because it gives quite nice sustain because of the Nature's Gift passive here. In terms of sustain, what can you do? So on my website I have a slightly different setup. Now here I'm full on damage, so I do the heavy attacks on the front bar and light attacks on the back bar. Heavy attacks are really fast, like you saw. They're not really that long, because you can animation cancel them really well. On my website I have a setup with the Cameron Throne. You will get a lot more stamina recovery and you mostly can do a light attack rotation. What is better? It depends. Like, this setup here has slightly more damage, but I do know most people don't like heavy attacks, so on my website you have the setup to do a full light attack rotation. The difference is really small, like it doesn't matter at all. It's just in raids when you have a lot of group buffs, etc. If you have more damage, you will hit a lot harder, and that's where it comes a little bit in play. In the end, it's up to you. Play around a little bit, experiment, test a few skills and see what you like the most. Now that's more or less it. Please make sure, do not forget to subscribe. And if you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.